What's going on, guys? Noah here, coming at you guys with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to dye a disc with the shaving cream method. So the first thing you're going to need is a disc, obviously, a can of acetone for removing the stamp if you choose to, shaving cream, iDye poly, and a creative mind to kind of get your disc looking unique and different than everyone else's out there that does a dye. So with the iDye poly, I'll have all of the links down in the description to where you guys can buy this stuff. You can get it at Joann Fabrics, but let's jump right into it. So obviously your disc, you need a basic acetone as well, like I had mentioned, some shaving cream and iDye poly. And with the iDye poly, you're only going to be using the powder part of the iDye packet. So there's a liquid part and then there's a powder part that comes with it. You're only going to be using the powder. You can throw away the liquid, you don't ever need it. It's mostly for like dyeing shirts and stuff like that. So a bowl and a plate. So I'm going to start out, I'm choosing to keep the stamp on this Zeus. And keep in mind also that the dye does not hold up on like DX plastic or like the D plastic from Discraft. It just doesn't hold up very well. It doesn't stick to the disc or dye into the disc that well. So it's mostly premium disc. Anything that's really like a $20 disc is perfect for this because the plastic is premium. So started out with a bowl of shaving cream. I filled it about 3/4 of the way up and then put in my powder. And you're gonna want to mix this stuff super thoroughly. And when I mean thoroughly, like, you'll notice when you start to mix this stuff, you're going to have these little black beads in there, and that's the dye. You don't want any of that in your shaving cream as is a basis color. For instance, I'm doing purple for my base, and I'm going to fill the entire plate. So I'm using a large base of shaving cream so I can end up having a larger dye on the disc. So you're going to want to mix this stuff thoroughly to the point where you don't have any dots in the shaving cream. Like you can see here, mine is very thick and there's nothing in it to make it distort the color of the disc. So I'm going to base a nice like medium to thin layer of shaving cream on my plate as like my basis color. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want most of my discs to end up coming out as purple. And I'm going to actually do a multicolored dye on this and kind of give it like a swirl to kind of match the stamp itself. So I'm going to end up doing a blue swirl within that, but I'll show you guys how to do that as I get to it. So you're going to want to put a nice thin to medium layer of shaving cream on your plate and use it as like your base color. A lot of people will do like reds, orange, blues. I just preferably am all purple. That's just kind of how my bag is. But yeah, I'm kind of spreading this out here, wanting to make it really smooth, clean. And then you can choose to rinse out the remaining shaving cream that you have in your bucket as well, or your cup, or whatever you choose to mix with, and then you can use that in a later date. Like, for instance, like using it on a second dye so you don't have to redo it. But be careful. So if you're washing your stuff really close to your plate, see, I noticed here that I had some dots on my my shaving cream there, and that's just because the water ended up hitting it and it's like basically oxidizing the shaving cream on me. So I'm working on my second color now. I'm going to end up doing a nice light blue. Kind of turned out here I actually spilled a little bit more into the shaving cream than I wanted to. But an easy fix for that is just adding a little bit more shaving cream and kind of dilutes the color and makes it a little bit lighter. So I end up mixing it, kind of figuring out that it's a little too dark for the preference that I wanted it. So I added a little bit more shaving cream to it. And it turned out a lot better than what I thought. I was thinking it was going to be a really dark blue. But mixing away here, just trying to keep the consistency of the shaving cream really thick and really like solid for the color. I'm trying to get no dots in it or anything like that, so it doesn't ruin the initial like color of it. So I end up not showing you guys here just because I was mixing it nicely, but I'm ending up fixing the little white dots that ended up on my shaving cream here. And then this is where it gets a little bit cool. This is where you can get your creative side. So I use a knife for a lot of my swirls. I like to put it in and kind of do a basis to the shape that I'd like to do for the shaving cream itself and the swirls, and then I kind of do the more like technical, like unique side of it. So I end up doing a nice just circle in the middle of it, and this is the basis off of just the center of my disc that I'd like to use. And then I like to weave it through and kind of mix the blue and the purple together to kind of give it this nice little swirl. I was thinking about doing something in the middle, but decided not to on it. So then you're going to take your disc. Here's my nice clean little swirl that I did. I think it'll turn out nice around the Zeus stamp itself. I like to grab the insides, push it down into it, and then rotate it as I'm pushing down, so it kind of gives it more of a swirl. And then you're going to want to clean up the sides of the plate as well. I've learned this the hard way. I ended up dyeing one of my counters and had to use acetone to get the dye off, because this stuff does not come off once it's there. It is extremely hard. So as this disc sits, you're going to want to let this sit for probably about 24 hours. Like, I'm not going to pick this up till I'm out of work tomorrow. And I will record the remaining of it so you guys can see exactly what this disc turned out like. But clean up your sides, because if that disc rises down or drops more into the plate, it will push that shaving cream off and get onto whatever surface you have. Okay guys, so it is the next morning of the dye. I did this the night before. I didn't want it to sit in there too long. I was thinking I was going to let it sit in there overnight and into the day, but the darker the dye is on the outside, the darker the color will come up on the disc over the longer you let it sit. So I wanted to pull it out sooner than later. I didn't want it to be too dark. I wanted it to be a nice light purple blue. And I'm not going to lie, guys, this turned out way better than what I thought it was going to. The purple and the blue just mixed really, really well this time. I've had some in the past where they don't. But as you guys can see a little bit there too, I missed a few spots where there's like darker little dots there on the bottom and the right hand side of the stamp. That I didn't mix the dye nearly as well, but I got some outside photos and an outside video so you guys can see what this looks like in some like true natural light. That swirl on that thing just turned out a lot better than what I thought. It's super pretty. I really, really like it, and I'm going to end up putting this right back in my bag. So if this is something that helped you guys and kind of gave you some information on how to dye a disc, leave a like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, just let me know as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.